Welcome back to the Not Sorry podcast. You have found yourself in the right place. I promise you. It is Friday, so cheers. Drinking a Sauv Blanc, if you're wondering, and not watching on YouTube. But today we are chit-chatting about a pretty hot topic, hotly debated. There's a lot of different opinions on it. But what we're talking about today is, can males and females actually be friends? I have my own thoughts and feelings about this. It's very nuanced in my opinion. But first, I asked the Not Sorry gang this question on the interwebs, and here are a handful of responses. And I kind of like where some people went with this. First one, these are always anonymous, by the way, at least on here, but not where you post them. So I don't know what's the point. So, okay, first one, friends, yes, but not best friends. There should be boundaries. I agree with that. Straight to the point. Got it. This girl, she goes, it's good. I saw something that said men are friends with women they want to fuck, and women are friends with the men that they would never fuck. And she goes on to say, that said, I have guy friends. One has expressed interest in exploring things with me, and I put a stop to that real quick. He said he couldn't even be my friend anymore because of his feelings for me. He took a little hiatus from being around me, and we're friends now, but I intentionally keep distance, and when I started dating my boyfriend, I filled him in on what happened, so there's never a question of trust if he ends up hearing about it. I think platonic relationships are super important, yeah, and it's also obvious when wanting to stay platonic isn't two-sided. Best to use situational judgment. That is the most diplomatic answer of all of these. It is so true, and probably like it's where we're going with this and why I wanted to talk about it, or at least give my opinion on it, because I agree with this, with what she said. I'm gonna get a sip here. Mark and I are going to a margarita festival later, so I don't even know why I'm having wine right now. It's probably a really bad combination because I'm in my mid-30s now, so we're gonna find out. Also, that's why I'm like not ultra, but more glammed up than normal. My makeup looks phenomenal. I did a new technique. I posted about it on my TikTok if you want to watch that. All right, next comment is I do believe you can be friends with the opposite gender. I have a boyfriend, but I have guy friends respect him. Okay, great. If I do hang out with them, my boyfriend is there, or it's a group setting. Most of my guy friends I met at work, but they're either in a relationship themselves or they're gay. I have run into the scenario you're talking about where they catch feelings. In that case, you have to distance yourself from them because you'll end up hurting them in the end. That's another really great diplomatic answer. Like, respect the boundaries. You always hang out in a group. Yes, ma'am. There you go. Next comment. I think they can, but there comes a point when you're close enough with someone, even platonically, where one person can get feelings for the other and never mention it. It can easily fall into more for one or both of them. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. Next comment. No. I think when it's a quote group friendship, then yes. But any sort of one-on-one friendship, no. I had a one-on-one friendship with a guy for a long time, and it was starting to change my mind about the concept. But then he told me he thinks about having sex with me constantly, so that was over. Wait, hold on. And it was starting to change my mind about the concept. Oh, I see. Yeah, you thought like, oh yeah, guys can be, I think the big argument is like, can guys truly platonically be friends with a girl? And that's where she was thinking, oh, I think this can actually happen, until he shattered the reality of constantly wanting to have sex with her. And she's like, okay, yep, that argument's done with. Next, or last one is, I know how to set boundaries, amen. But I also fall into the group that they cannot be one-on-one friends. Someone always catches feelings or end up having affairs. This has been my experience, not only in relationships with people who have opposite sex friends, but also just witnessing it firsthand while working in the food and beverage industry. Girl, I bet you have some stories. My first job was in the food and beverage industry. And that was it. That was the only one. And I was like just a hostess too. So it's not like I saw all the drama that servers see. Yeah. So a lot of these comments are definitely along the lines of my opinion. I personally cannot. I want to hear your thoughts, the rest of y'all's thoughts too. So if you're watching on TikTok, let me know if you truly have and guys too. Like, I want to hear from you. I should have asked more dudes. If you truly can be platonic with a girl, like seriously, and not your sister, that doesn't count. Because I think it's a lot easier for women to be friends with guys and never be attracted to them. And like that first comment said, no, the second one, men are friends with women they want to fuck, and women are friends with men they would never fuck. I think some women really abuse the friend zone, or are just so like oblivious to like a really great guy standing in front of them. So there's that. And I'm sorry for the friend zoned guys, but sometimes there are guys who deserve to be friend zoned, because when the girl is like, oh, okay, I should give him a chance, and then he turns into an absolute asshole. That's never happened to me. I usually have a pretty good, like really well refined filter on these things. Not that I have the best dating history, but that's another story. Actually, no, if you've been listening, you know exactly. Yeah, no, my opinion, I cannot really be friends with a guy, truly. I mean, like, the friends that I meet through, like, it's so weird. Like, it's really weird, because, like, all my girlfriends, like, they have husbands, and I would consider their husbands like a friend, and like, but that's it. I've never met them outside of anything. I don't think so, but you can tell when it's weird. 100% you can tell when it's weird and when there's something else going on. And a massive red flag if a guy's like, it's just a friend, but then you're going out and hanging out with her one-on-one. Nope, red flag. And I've seen posts all over the internet of girls being like, am I crazy? Or is he okay? Or is he like, am I just overreacting because my boyfriend is going to go hang out with a girl at the bar for a happy hour and I can't go, or something like that, and I just don't feel comfortable with it, and he got mad at me when I brought it up. Yes, ma'am, you are not crazy. You're crazy for not putting your foot down like harder, or just breaking up with him on the spot. I know it seems like it's so much easier to say, like, just break up with him, and what would I do in that situation? Okay, let me think. If I told Mark, I'm like, hey, an old guy friend is in town, we're just gonna go meet up for a drink and like catch up, he would be like suspicious and like would definitely want to know if like we were ever together in any way. He told me early on when we were first dating, like, he's like, if we're ever in a room with a guy that you've slept with before, please tell me, because he would feel like a complete clown if he didn't. And like, and I agree with that. I would want to know too if he's been with someone that I'm like talking to, because it changes things, you know. Girls are a lot more catty with it, I think, but guys are just more protective of it in a way. So like, if I was in this situation, which I've never been, to be honest, I will say I've never been put in that situation. I've never forced myself to be, not forced myself, but I've never had guy friends that I want to hang out one-on-one while I'm in a relationship. I do have guy friends though. But no, he would like want to know if we've like been together before, and then like his hesitation, he wouldn't tell me not to go because he's not that guy. And honestly, I think I would have the same reaction, but we're both too we're both the same person. Like, I don't want to be that boyfriend. I don't want to be that girlfriend where you sound really insecure, or you're telling them what to do. Like, you don't want to feel like you're controlling them. Like, no, you can't go out to dinner with this person. No, you're staying home, or I'm going with you. And it just feels icky. But at the same time, it's kind of crossing somewhat of a boundary. In my opinion, it's really sticky. It's a real gray area, because I have 100% trust in Mark and vice versa. But it's like, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the deal. We would trust each other 100%, and I would feel a little, and I would tell him, I'd be honest, I'd be like, babe, that feels kind of weird. I'm sorry, but it's just, I don't think I'm comfortable with that entirely, but go, because I do trust you. I 100% trust you. But then my next thing would be like, it's also like an easy door to walk through for future transgressions, because I've been in those situations before where, nothing's gonna happen, it's fine, XYZ, but then certain situations happen in life, you get more lonely, your relationship starts getting difficult, or shit happens, and then you cross this like innocent boundary with someone, and then it starts to get more and more comfortable and more easier, and then all of a sudden you start having flirty texts a little bit more often, or more flirty conversation, or hanging out more often, and then Mark would be more and more okay with it because he trusts the guy, and then all of a sudden it turns into this whole blown affair, like like, don't even put yourself in that situation. Like, I trust myself, and I trust Mark, and he trusts himself as well. But like, it would be just so stupid of me to just even crack the door open for something that could potentially happen. And I remember I told myself a long time ago, before I was married, or even in my first relationship, girl, I was never gonna be that person. I will work it out. We'll work this out. We're in this together. XYZ. We're a team. Nope. Until you're alone in your relationship. And I keep grabbing my wine glass to like take a sip, and I keep putting it back down. 1 second. I told myself I would never be that girl to like cheat in any kind of way, in any sort of level, but there I was, girl. Ooh, it's a long story, but it really surprised me, like, when you do get to a point of like emotional and physical like starvation, the things that you'll do when a hot plate of food is in front of you, man. And now I have a lot more tools in my toolbox to not go, quote, hungry again. That's usually like the metaphor I like to use when I was married. Like, I was so starved of so much that if I was like, I'm just gonna go out, it's just a friend from high school coming through town, we're just gonna get dinner. I got away with a lot. Like, if I had said that, he would have believed me and just been like, okay, cool. And like, because he also did not care, and any excuse to have alone time he would take. So anytime I could be out of the house, he's like, oh yeah, go have fun. Like, dude, you're so dumb. Literally so dumb. But when it comes to this friendship thing, it is like the same, what these, I cannot talk. What some of y'all's comments have been of like, you got to have boundaries. And if you don't have boundaries, then you should not be in a relationship. If you can't respect the boundaries, you should not be in a relationship, or at least distance yourself from the friend who is in the relationship, things like that. I cannot. And there have been times where I really do see true platonic friendships, and it honestly kind of blows my mind, because I could just never. Even if I was single, let's put it that way. If I was single, the only reason I'm hanging out with that guy one-on-one is because I want to get with him. Like, I don't think I've ever been in a platonic state of mind with a guy unless I was like, you know, a kid, and I really did have like little guy friends and like, it's so cute. But the minute I discovered what love was and boys and being attracted to boys, like, no, there was one thing on my mind. Like, I'm a girl with a guy's brain. Sometimes I feel that way. I just couldn't. And I know it's a lot easier for girls, but also I will say at the same time, I do have brothers and I don't have any sisters. So I'm curious with girls who do not have brothers, what it's like versus girls who don't have brothers. And if like, those kinds of male friendships for girls who don't have brothers are something that you actively seek out. That is something I'm curious about, because it would make sense. Like if you don't have, and especially so if you didn't have a good male role model or just like a stable like dad or something in your life, what it looks like for you now. That's a good like little experiment. Because it would make sense that you would need to find like true platonic relationships with men to kind of help influence you and fill in any like, I don't want to say like holes in your heart, but honestly it's kind of like that. And my father figure was not, it's a long story, but I definitely, as Dr. John Deloney said, I married and dated my unfinished business with my dad. And a lot of women do that. And I think you can do that also platonically, which I think is the more healthier way to go about it. When girls need to look for a guy friend, that is just a good, healthy influence for them. So, but it's so tricky because like guys just take it the wrong way. And that's why I lean more on the side of the fence of like guys and girls truly cannot be friends like they can with the same sex, right? I'm not going to gossip and gab with my guy friend. It's not the same, and it's not the same fulfillment. It really isn't. I don't know. This is kind of like an all over the place situation. So I'm really curious like what your thoughts are. I think overall though, like in the end, you have to place the boundaries on it. Even if you're not in a relationship, I think you need to set up the right expectations. If you're a girl, especially, because guys just will bulldoze their way around whenever they can into a relationship or just hang out because something might happen eventually. Like, you can't blame a guy, I guess, right? But if you're truly wanting to be friends with a guy, like do him a favor and let him know. And even if he is naive and like, I'll make her change her mind, blah, blah, blah. Eventually she'll fall in love with me. Like at that point, it's his fault, not yours. So do yourself a favor, do him a favor, and give yourself that out of like, hey man, we're just friends. That's all I see with this, just so you know, and it's not going to change. And if they don't believe you, that's their fault. So you can't feel guilty when they profess their love to you and you're like, bro, what did I tell you last week or whatever. So do yourself that favor, because even if especially when you're in a relationship too, that is like, I mean, you shouldn't have to tell guys that. Like when you're in a relationship and dudes are trying to be your friends, like, no, that's different. It's an unspoken boundary that you keep your distance in an appropriate way, and they should too. And if they don't, especially, time to go crack some skulls. Just kidding. Hold on. But yeah, that's an interesting topic. Even my brothers, I'm only one sister. I should ask my brothers. I don't think they have any friends that are girls. We grew up with a lot of boundaries though. And also like really conservative and traditional, so it would make sense. But either of them have like friends that are girls, I don't think. And I remember my sister-in-law had a guy friend at work, and they were just friends or whatever. And Austin, my brother, like he's like, no, he is attracted to you. And she's like, no, Austin, you don't know, we're just friends. And I was like, no, you don't know how guys like even guys like will tell you like, no, we're just friends with girls because we are trying to get that. Like, so sorry, ladies. Set the boundary. I think that's where we're ending with this, is that you just got to be upfront with the boundary and the expectations and make sure that you've done your part. Amen. Hallelujah. And then go about it. And if he fucks up, that's his problem. And you can move on with no regrets or feeling guilty and hey, let him on. Like, no, you didn't. You're being yourself. Just forget it. All right. I think that is everything I wanted to say on that. I wanted to do my buzzkill segment. Oh, that was cute. Should that be the little jingle? My buzzkill segment. It's probably way off tune. But my buzzkill segments are the opportunity for me to bitch and complain about just the woes and stupid things of life or the inconveniences of life and things that just kill the vibe. You know, like one of the ones from a couple weeks ago was like, they didn't allow open bar seating at this restaurant. Like, are you joking? And I heard on a TV show, no, it was a TikTok video. They were trying to get seated at a bar and they're like, oh, you'd have to get on the wait list for the bar seating. What? I don't want to live in that kind of world where you can't just walk up to the bar, sit down and get a drink. You have to sit there and freaking wait like everyone else? No. No. Okay. That's still going to be my top buzzkill segment. But this one today is, you know what? Fucking Southwest Airlines. You guys have created one of the most biggest disappointments in my life up till now. That's dramatic. But you know what? Southwest Airlines is like that buddy that, bro, I got you. I'm going to hook you up. We're one-on-one, man. We're there together. We're doing this together. You can trust me. They created this level of love and trust, and then they went and fucked us. They fucked us with those extra bag fees, and now you can't get a refund or free change. You can't change your flights for free. Like, the flexibility of it is just gone. It's obliterated. Why? Probably because someone needed a raise or someone needed to buy a new beach house. Like, fuck you. Like, literally. I can't. Like, you guys are like the most toxic. Like, Southwest Airlines is like the most toxic relationship. Yeah. American is like super shit with cancellations and just being disorganized. And those budget airlines are just, they throw caution to the wind, but hey, they're upfront about it, right? You know what to expect with them. At least they might be shit, but then Southwest Airlines was that stable relationship that you thought was healthy, and now they're like, nope, we're gaslighting you this whole time. Give us your money. You have no choice. Fuck you. I loved you. I think it's different if you're a Southwest credit card holder and like, I don't want to get a credit card, and a lot of people shouldn't. No one really should. And that's just another fucking stab in the back just to like nickel and dime us poor Americans, middle class, and like, it grinds my freaking gears. And you'll see a lot of my buzzkill segment. The one the other week was when we're trying to order sangria, and you know what a main ingredient in sangria is at any restaurant, or at the for this recipe for sangria? Brandy. This restaurant was charging $5 fucking extra to add a main ingredient to this cocktail. Are you joking me? Just another stupid, it's so little, but it tells like the bigger story of what's going on. And I just cannot deal with it. And, it's $5 fucking. Like, you're looking for every little thing to make a couple extra bucks on. Same with fucking Southwest Airlines. From now on, I have to have Mark book all my flights because he has a credit card. I'm such a freaking hypocrite. But still, like, I don't care. It's just so wrong. And it just shouldn't be that way, guys. What are we going to do? We have to stand up against this. How do we boycott? What do we do? How does that work? Oh, brother. Well, I guess other airlines are going to be getting my business now. So just because it's like, what's the friggin' difference? The only reason we went with Southwest was because of these incredible benefits, and they set themselves apart. And they're like, all right, we've been set apart. Now let's, join everyone else in hell and, grab everyone's money. And it's like, okay, I think that needs to stop. Should we end on a positive note? More positive note? No, everything's going well. My past couple of weeks have been really shitty, like emotionally, with my job and just like all of the feelings surrounding like the podcast. And it's like getting out of the hole a little bit and staying positive and just moving forward and getting like literally just getting over it. Amen. There's a fly in my wine. But that's my fault. I've been having the door open all day because it's really nice out. But anyway, I have to go to a margarita festival. Kill me. All right. Thanks for joining. Please help a girl out in creating her dream life and rating and subscribing and doing all the good things for the podcast algorithms. That would be really, really lovely of you, and recommending as well. So love you. Thank you for those of you who are here. And until next time, bye.